Yeah, you can. You're fine then.
Hi, welcome to the Pat Sheranian Show. I'm not on every day during the week now, but once in a while I am, and it seems to be Thursday mornings, and I'm glad to be here.
Does that mean you're not on because you're off, or is it that you're not broadcasting?
He's already going to take the show away from him.
Already.
We haven't even started. Okay. Thank you for being out there at pat.utahvalleylive.com or just utahvalleylive.com, and you found us. We know we're on the radio. We did finally figure out if you're listening to us on the radio, we don't need to give the call letters every 22 minutes or something. But thank you for being with us. And I appreciate those of you that have contacted me and have said, made some comment about the ad that's running in the Daily Herald. We really appreciate the Daily Herald. They've been very good to us, and we're going to have publicity stories coming out. He's going to interrupt me. I'm not going to get through the show. This is Kent Vorkink. He's not necessarily my guest today, but he is here. and we're going to be talking about answering some questions that we've had over the last few months about how we put this programming together on KHQN 1480 and also UtahValleyLive.com. And we're going to be talking about Kyani, KYANI.net, because they are our major sponsor for these programs, and so we're grateful for that. We're also going to be talking about our 12 new hosts, and we've got another show coming up, which we're very excited about. It'll be coming up.
Lots of shows coming up.
A lot of shows coming up. That's true. So that we can stay polite here, I'll ask Kent how he's doing today and what's on his mind.
And Pat,
and I'll try not to override him, but once or twice.
I would be glad to answer that right after we go to this commercial break.
Oh, all right. I did forget that. I haven't been on the air for a couple of weeks. What can I tell you? I'm being a producer these days.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pam Mays. I'm the host of Care of the Soul, and I will be with you broadcasting Thursdays from 1 to 2. I'm a psychologist. I'm a meditation teacher, author, playwright. I write under the nom de plume Pam Blackwell, and I'm interested in bringing to you psycho-spiritual aspects of the human being like dreams, meditation, common psychological problems. I hold seminars and workshops on this topic in Utah County and would love to have you join me for those. Please join us for Care of the Soul.
Are you an athlete looking for a natural boost to your workout? Have you studied up on the benefits of nitric oxide production to your performance? Then you'll want to try Kyani's Nitro Extreme. Nitro Extreme promotes cardiovascular health and improved blood flow, supports muscle contraction and relaxation, as well as nerve transmission. I use Nitro Extreme right before I lift weights, and I've never been stronger in my entire life. If you don't try Nitro Extreme, you'll never know what you're missing. Call 801-362-9552 to order yours today. That's 801-362-9552.
I'm Diana Hoffman, host of Healing Talk Radio. Everything you thought you knew about the brain is changing. There's an explosion of new research about how to repair our minds, heal our emotions, and enhance our relationships. Join me every Friday at noon as we interview top experts, review books, and debate the controversies. Healing Talk broadcasts live on KHQN 1480 AM and video streams at UtahValleyLive.com. For information, go to HealingTalkRadio.com.
We are back. Welcome back to the Pat Sheranian Show today, and also Kent Vorkink is my co-host. On the other hand, he thinks he's the host and I'm the co-host. We don't know. Some days are really more difficult than others and equally as much fun. I want to mention Dr. Pam. She will be following today. She is really very, very good, and she's got a great talent on with her, Stephen Nibley. And I got an email from his brother Richard, who's in Japan, and watches us and listens, and so that's exciting. And Dr. Pam will be coming up. She is wonderful. She's been interpreting my dreams. I haven't remembered
That's
dreams.
Scary.
No, I know, but it's interesting. And then she talks about the sandbox. You have to know about that because it's not about kitties at all. And then we're on Friday at noon, we have Diana Hoffman. And this Friday, tomorrow, she's going to be interviewing a lady she and her husband adopted 17 children, and how that got started and why and what has happened.
She's seeing them because of a mental illness or
no,
what?
No.
Oh.
It's a great story. It's a great
I'm
story.
kidding.
So you want to tune in tomorrow at noon. on 1480 AM and on UtahValleyLive.com, specifically Diana.UtahValleyLive.com
That's
tomorrow.
not it at all.
It isn't?
No, they can either watch it at healingtalkradio.UtahValleyLive.com, or they can go to healingtalkradio.com. Now, that's Diana's actual website.
But I also saw one when she sent me an email that was Diana.UtahValleyLive.com.
Maybe, but since I never programmed that, it's probably not there. Just so you
Okay,
know.
we're having a typical day at Sheranian
If
Communications.
you go to diana.utahvalleylive.com, good luck to you. However, Diana's show, which is really full of great information,
It's a great show.
can be found at healingtalkradio.com, or you just go to the utahvalleylive.com main site, and there is a link there that will show you where you can watch it. Well, it'll say tomorrow, if I remember, it'll say Friday's live programs.
This is why he handles the technical stuff and I do the selling.
They don't let me on the air very often.
So talking. Oh dear. All right, do you want to start with the Kayani?
Kayani's great. I start with Kayani every day. How's that for a segue?
That's
Do you like that? That was
That's a great segue because I start with Kayani every day also.
But I do. It's right next to the bed. I sit up in the morning and I don't use the bottle. I use the 1 ounce packets.
I'm gonna. If I had a computer, I'd
And
type in what I have to say because you're not
I
gonna
have
let me
one right
talk.
here. Would you like me to type something in the chat room? We have a chat room. You can talk to us in the chat room. That means that I actually normally foster.
Be nice. Be nice.
Be nice, or else we'll ban you. But normally Foster, who's running the board right now, would be the one who moderates the chat room. I've also got it here on my laptop, just so I can ban people also. But no, really, you can go to either UtahValleyLive.com, join the chat room there, or Pat. That's where Pat's show is, not Diana, but Pat's show is at pat.UtahValleyLive.com. For those of you listening on the radio, why are you listening on the radio? Go find a computer so you can talk to us in the chat room.
Well, they're in the car. They're in the car. They're in an elevator.
Okay, they're living in
listening
their
on
car,
their iPod.
and
They're
so
listening. Yeah.
They're not listening in an elevator. If somebody out there is actually listening to this station in an elevator, you get a prize. We will award you a free bottle of Kayani Sunrise. Now, this is a $40
Foster,
retail
would you
value.
take a note? This is the last
If
show
you
he's
can
doing
prove,
with me.
take a picture of yourself, an audio, a video recording of yourself listening to AM 1480 in an elevator.
This is a $50 bottle. What are you talking about?
It's the stuff inside that's worth something, not the bottle. All right, back to where we were.
Where were we? Okay, and so then I follow that in the morning with, if I'm swimming, I take the Nitro the X, the Extreme, if I go swimming in the morning, because it really gives you a lot of energy. And then during the day, I take the Nitro FX, which gives me this incredible energy. And I'm probably not going to see 50 again, but this gives me the kind of energy
You're
I
doing
had.
good for a 60-year-old broad.
If my other children are watching, hang up now. You don't do that, do you? You just kind of disappear.
No, you just click.
Click.
Go back to Facebook
Oh,
or wherever you
goodness.
were before you came
Well,
to UtahValleyLive.com.
Kent claims that my children don't really know me because they don't have to work with me like he does. So now they're getting acquainted.
I know you very well.
And you don't get to speak at my funeral. Okay.
Was I
so
going?
let me
Oh.
let me finish. I want to
keep
talk
going.
about the
Good
Nitro
luck.
FX.
Let you finish. That's not ever going to happen.
Okay, the Nitro FX really and truly opens up everything in your system, your circulation, and with this comes this incredible energy because this is made from the root of the noni plant, the root and the stem and the leaves. And it gives all kinds of energy and opens up all the
Are
circulation.
you using FX or Extreme?
I'm using Extreme in the morning.
Okay.
In the morning when I'm take it 15 minutes before I
FX
get in the
keeps you
pool.
awake.
And yeah, and they keeps
When they're
me
what?
awake.
Playing bingo at the Senior Citizen Center?
No, it makes it possible for me to have good cognitive thinking, and I'm fast on my feet. I do run up and down the stairs now where I didn't before. Don't you sit here and laugh.
I wasn't going to say
And
anything
good.
about the stairs.
And then this one is the omega-3. This is a fish oil, and it's all pure oil. There's no fish parts and no mercury. These products come to us from Idaho Falls, and they come out of Alaska. And we are very excited about the blueberry from the Alaska, tundra.
Yeah, that thing.
And then the fish oil from the Alaskan waters, pure, pure, pure. These products 18 months ago changed my life. I was busy filling out my will, dividing up my bills between my sons. And are you going to sleep? And it totally changed my life. On top of that, I earned a car, and I'm going to pick it up pretty quick.
The Kyani show is next hour.
Oh, next hour we're doing
We're
Kyani.
talking about Sheranian Communications
Oh,
and
that's
Utah
right.
Valley Live.
Well,
that's
it
why
made,
we're talking about
these
Dr.
products
Pam
made
and
it
Diana.
possible for us to start this on the air. So let's talk about what Sheranian Communications is all about.
What is
Sheranian
it all about,
Broadcast
Sheranian?
Communications.
Pat Sheranian. What is Sheranian Broadcasting Communications Incorporated all about?
Well, I kept trying to retire, and life wouldn't let me. And so I thought about what did I do that I really enjoyed doing. And years ago, I started on radio in Salt Lake, and then went to television.
That's because they hadn't invented television yet.
They had invented television, and
Oh,
I was
sorry.
on it live. And had a lot of fun with that. And then over the years here in the Valley, I was almost 20 years on another radio station locally, and for about 6 months in Salt Lake with Mills Crenshaw. We had a lot of fun back and forth, but I couldn't stand driving in the snowstorm in the dark in the morning and at night, so that ended after about 6 months. But we got to talking the other day about what to do a few months ago and decided let's find radio again. And then Kent came in and said something about streaming, and I thought he was talking about Give said the little stream. Okay, I didn't know what streaming video was all about, but now I'm in it. We are having more fun, and I was on every day for an hour for about 2.5, 3 months, and then people came to us, and we found other people that were interested, and they were interested in being hosts, and they are, and that's how Sheranian Broadcast Communications came about. We started out in a warehouse a ways out of town.
Studio. You like to call it a warehouse.
It was a warehouse.
We
It
started
was
in the
cold.
Provo Creative Studio,
Okay,
which is
Provo.
owned by Pete Hansen, who's my partner in UtahValleyLive.com. And
Do you ever feel you're being corrected constantly? Anyway, that's where we started, and it was way out of everybody's way. Nowhere to go to lunch anywhere close by, so
820 North in
way out in 5 minutes off of University Avenue.
That's like
but
the last time I was on the air with you, I think, was
Out there.
that day when the publisher bailed and we had to fill
we
in.
did, but he is still a friend.
In case he's listening, we like
In case
you.
he's listening, right. That's Boyd Tuttle.
Spend more. I know who it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say his name. That's why I
Okay,
said
well,
publisher.
Boyd's a good man. So anyway, I found a place downtown, and we are now downtown Provo, Utah, and I love it. We have 22 restaurants in all directions. We have all kinds of cute shops and fun things. The temple
Whose
is
idea was it to come downtown?
mine.
That's what I thought. All my life I've heard that.
My idea to come
I
downtown.
don't think so.
It was my idea.
It was my idea.
I went out and found the place.
You found this place. Do you remember me talking about the tailor shop across the street that I was going to go and broadcast from?
Yes, but I talked about the old Hallmark store where I used to
That was
broadcast
after
from.
Okay, next.
Okay, so see, I win because I'm really stronger personality.
So
and more
Sheranian
charming.
Communications does what?
Well, why don't you tell it?
Sheranian Communications is a broadcast company currently broadcasting 3 hours of live talk shows.
Soon to be 2 to 3, soon to be 4 to 5.
There's going to be eventually like 12 hours a day of live, simulcasted talk shows here from Utah Valley, originating from Provo, Utah. And Pat Sheranian is the goddess of talk.
Oh, please, now he's going to overdo it.
And so right now we have, and it's true, when we were last doing this, you started off with 1 hour a day, and we moved over to this facility on the 1st of November. And then in the first part of December, no, actually,
December.
Later in November, we added the Verl Osmond live show.
We did.
And then unfortunately, Verl Osmond's health didn't hold up, and it's a grind. And this is what the audience may not understand, but this looks like fun and games when we're sitting here talking, but it's actually kind of a grind to do a daily show. It is a little
Well, you
bit of a
kind of have
challenge.
to gear up to it because you think it doesn't own you, but it does. And I have come over the years to admire people in television, radio, anywhere in the public eye, because you do have to gear up to it, particularly if you're doing it every day, if you're on the air every day. You have to be on your game whether you're on your game or not. And I wasn't sure I could do this all over again after many years of trying to
It's
retire.
the Kyani that does
It's
it.
the Kyani that truly has made the difference.
That
We
is
joke
true.
about it, but it's true. And I'm a CEO in there for about 12, 13 years. Kent worked with me at some of these, and we had a lot of fun learning a lot about various products, businesses, how they were run, what happened with them. And that was interesting, and all right here in Utah Valley.
Yeah, that is true. And so Sheranian Communications was born to broadcast these type of shows Actually, you've had that company in name for quite a few years for the various things you've done around radio.
Right.
When Verl Osmond went off the air mid-December, it was just your show again until the first of the year, and that's when things really picked up. We went ahead and we picked up a number of shows that we're going to talk about in a minute. Throughout the course of this hour, we're playing the promos, which we'll be going to in just a minute, Foster. Assuming you found them. You haven't found them yet? They're dead? Okay, so we're not going to take a break right now. The program crashed on us, and so right now, Foster's just going to voice all of the promos on his own. I want you to do your best imitating BJ Stober's voice. Anyway,
let's talk just a minute. And he's put "ha ha" on the screen. He found them. Okay. He found BJ's.
He found BJ's. Okay. Are we ready then to take it? Because it's time for us to take a break. Are you ready to find a few? Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Then we're going to come back and talk about Foster.
Yes, and Foster, and our various shows that are on Sheranian Communications and UtahValleyLive.com.
Hi, I'm BJ and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in Salem, Utah. I'm also the host of Table Talk with BJ every Friday at 1 o'clock right here on KHQN 1480 on your AM radio dial. You can also watch me and my exciting guests live at the same time on bj.utahvalleylive.com, where you are also invited to get questions and comments during my show. Tune in and check us out. I know you'll love Table Talk with BJ every Friday at 1 o'clock. Hi.
Thanks for listening to our broadcast. Please do us a favor and take a moment to call, text, or email your friends and family and let them know about this show. We're live on this radio station, KHQN AM 1480, and on UtahValleyLive.com, where this show will be archived for later viewing. Also, Utah Valley Live is seeking additional programming for our growing network, talk shows about religion or politics, how-to shows, and more. Go to UtahValleyLive.com and send us your contact information and the type of show you would like to broadcast.
Watching and listening to the Pat Sheranian Show.
Unfortunately, we're back.
I have to tell you, life is full of so many stresses. We all know that. If you're over the age of 12, you've had some stress in your life. If you're in your 20s, you can write about it. And as you get older, they're just stresses. And this has turned out to be just a lot of fun. Really, very little stress involved. Yes, we do
Ask Foster that right now. You got any stress, Foster, right now?
Well, the technical people, yes.
You can turn on your microphone if you want. You can join the conversation with us. Just pot up mic 3 there.
It's really, he's handling going live on the radio at the same time. We're streaming worldwide on video on the internet. And we have worldwide, and we have a camera that all has to be taken care of at the same time. And so if you can't rub your tummy and pat your head and walk, you're in trouble. So we have had some people come and go. Our first little board operator has gone off on a mission for the Mormon Church, and we're very excited for her. And then Foster came aboard, and we're going to talk about him a little bit and tell you a little bit about who's behind the scenes. And I think you got through Sheranian Communications.
Yeah,
kind of
okay,
what
let's
that's
go
about.
back, because during that commercial break, we listened to BJ Stober's promo. Now, BJ has a show called Table Talk with BJ. It airs at 1 o'clock on Fridays, and she is a therapist. She actually works out of the same facility as Diana Hoffman does, and
down in Salem.
That's correct. And so people ought to tune into that show. She has a very conversational style and has a lot of fun personality, and that's part of what you've done with Sheranian Communications is after branching out. One of the first shows that, in fact, several of the regular show hosts that we have now are people that you had on in the Pat Sheranian show. Julia Curry is a good example. She was, I think, your first guest, wasn't she?
She was.
And Julia has a show that airs right now. It's been airing at noon on Mondays. Only there's a possibility, because of the success that she's experienced and kind of the feedback she's been getting, that she may be expanding her hours and moving to a different time frame. But we can't fully announce that yet, other than to say that we think that some good things are coming there. And then also you had on Lawrence Law. And Lawrence was your regular Thursday guest, and just like with Julia, as they got comfortable, they spun off into their own shows, and Lawrence now comes on the air at noon on Wednesdays with the Home Business Finance Show. And Lawrence has been doing that, I guess now we're coming up on
4 months, 3 months.
Well, 2-3 months. Yeah, there was, again, we had a break towards the end of in December with the holidays on some of these. And so as we go through and as they hear, if Foster's able to find the ads that just crashed, then we'll hear their promos. But that was kind of what the Pat Sheranian Show was. And it still continues that way. Most of our show hosts ended up, they started, I should say, on your show as guests.
And we had so much fun that they wanted to come in and do some training, which we've done, and to get on the air by themselves. And it's terrifying in the beginning for people that are new, but it's also exciting and very interesting. And they come with a truckload of information and degrees, years of study. Many of them, in fact, most of them have been authors. Marilyn Harris has a beautiful book out called Unlocking Your Beauty Code. Unlocking Your Beauty Code. And I've known Marilyn for, 30 years and watched her go through many stages, but always in the beauty market about skin and hair and color, and particularly color. And she's just a master at it. She's on Tuesday afternoons at 1 o'clock.
Correct.
So we have a full lineup, and then we just want to kind of tickle everybody's information a little bit, but make a note of it. March 5th, BJ, who's on Friday,
right,
and Diana on Friday,
right,
and a wonderful talent, Kim Stilson, who has been in radio for 8 to 10 years and is on another network, but she's going to be joining us. These three ladies plus another individual.
Right.
They're going to be coming on in the afternoon from 4 to 5 daily with an hour show across the board. And that is going to be fun to have a panel that they're going to talk about all kinds of things. And it's going to be very, very interesting. And we're gearing up for 5 to 6. And so that's growing. And we're excited
and the
about
message
that.
to the listeners and the viewers would be, which you hear me in one of the promos that we run throughout the day, is if you have a passion, if this is more than just radio. It's important for people to understand because, as you mentioned earlier, when we say streaming, unless they know exactly, sometimes we have to say we're doing live video streaming, or even use a term which isn't entirely correct, but describes it to a point where people get a better understanding. That is Internet TV.
Well, and a lot of them just refer to it as we're on television.
Right, and in a sense, even though it's not being played on a television set necessarily, they're watching it on their smartphone, they're watching it on their computer
And
screen.
if you have a 60-inch screen at home, you can actually wire this whole thing through your television set.
They have the technology to do that. That is correct.
All right.
But it's important to recognize that we are sitting with, for those that are listening on the radio, we're sitting here in a studio. We've got the studio lights on us. We've got microphones in front of our face. We've got a board operator. When you watch it, no, it's not quite the same quality as an NBC typically, but we're doing a full broadcast here. So if you have a passion and you're interested, you want to talk about religion, you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about baking, scrapbooking, genealogy, have a show you want to just opine about current events. We're still building our lineup. We're still, it's. I know you may be wonderful, but there actually is a fee for every hour. We have to pay Foster. We tried not doing it, but he wouldn't show up unless we paid him.
We also have Christian Duraeus on, and he comes on every other day.
Right. They swap their board op in there. But we have, for a relatively small fee, you can have your own show. And that one of the upsides to that is you get your bullet pulpit. You can stand on the soapbox and you say pretty much what you want to, as long as the FCC and other people don't mind, which sometimes. So if you're out there and you're thinking, gosh, I can do better than those two bums on right now, great, come on down, talk to us. And
They can't. We'll train them.
Well, yeah. And
I want to mention in here, too, that this got started because I didn't ever think I would move back to a small town, but I was raised in a small town in South Carolina, North Carolina. Yes, honey, I was raised in that little place. And yeah, and that's my native language. Now you got me started. I can't get out of it. So, but we love Provo. We love Utah Valley. We love the people, and that's why it is Utah Valley Live. So why don't you talk a little bit about Utah Valley Live and kind of how we put this together? I love a hometown show. I love having people on locally in the Utah Valley, people that have succeeded and come in and share with us what they are doing and continue to succeed.
Utah Valley Live, we came up with the idea, Pete Hansen and I came up with it a year ago or so, when we realized we were just looking at the convergence of technology and what was happening out there, realizing that it was becoming more and more accessible for somebody to do live video streaming on the internet. There's 3 main sites that do it for free. There's Ustream.tv, which is the platform that we're using currently. There's also Livestream.tv and Justin.tv or Livestream.com. They kind of have those domains sewn up. You can broadcast. A lot of people just have a laptop. This laptop that I'm using here doesn't have a camera built in, but many of the newer laptops do. And you basically use your laptop. You have a built-in microphone or an external mic. You can broadcast to the world, and that's a wonderful thing. But what I found when I did that, because I did a number of small broadcasts under a show name called Kent is Writing a Book, and nobody watched. And so, well, because they had
I just realized I didn't introduce you when we came back on. So if you've joined us in the last 10 minutes, this is Kent Vorkink sitting next to me, of Dutch, English, Irish origin.
Really not a lot of
had a really
Irish there.
amazing mother.
And if there was Irish there, I mean, I'm nothing against the Irish, but really it's Scottish and Dutch. Anyway.
There's a little Irish.
I've done more family history work than you have.
This is true.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happens is that as I was saying, gosh, I've got great information that I can give out there, but nobody's watching, which means nobody cares because nobody's watching. Because the challenge on these streaming platforms is that unless somebody knows you're there, then they can't watch it. So I realized there is no geographic indicator or locator for shows on Ustream. And I thought, well, that would be dandy to have a way to find somebody who was broadcast in my own community. I might be interested in what they had to say. I mean, I wanted to see what's going on here locally. And so that combined with the idea that I was reading about that small radio stations are coming back into favor when they feature local content because of the massive amounts of content that's available on demand on the internet that people now, there's kind of a return to the roots of, but I want to know what's going on here, not necessarily because I know I can tap into CNN, I know I can watch worldwide stuff at any time. What's happening in my local community? So with local radio stations recognizing the power that they have to speak, because, the whole thing about, you have to syndicate and all that, and that's wonderful for certain shows. But as everything became syndicated and became so much content, then local talk became interesting. And so combining those thoughts, we said, well, we should start our own little site that would be a place where when somebody says, hey, I want to stream something locally, we could be the place they go to, because going to some strange URL that you may not know, how would you ever know there's a second show? So we become, UtahValleyLive.com was started to be an aggregator site, a place that we could list the shows, the streams that were currently live. Now we have a sister site that we haven't fully launched yet called UtahValleyOnDemand.com. And that's eventually where all of our archive shows will be housed so that somebody would then watch those on demand. We try and be pretty obvious with our domain names. And so we started that, and last summer Pete and I ran some proof of concept shows called WeGo. I think you watched some of them.
Well, you were videotaping things that were happening in the city.
We were broadcasting.
Dances on rooftops, broadcasting.
Not videotaping.
Broadcasting.
And
okay. Once again, I get corrected. Can you
only because there is an important difference between videotaping and broadcasting.
That's true.
We were broadcasting them live.
That's true.
And so we had people
Which is what we're doing now.
Which is what we're doing now. We had people out. There is no tape in the camera. And we had people over at the Relay for Life.
However, we do archive.
Right, but it's not on tape.
Right.
It's archived. It's archived. And you can find any of the archive shows throughout the week. If you go to the UtahValleyLive.com main site, down under weekly, under schedule, down below next to the chat room tab, under schedule, lists the shows for the week, and it will link off to each of the individual show pages. And from each of the individual show pages, you can go to the past shows tab and find a listing of their past shows that you can bring up. So you can find any of our shows that have played here in the archives.
And we need to go to commercial break. And first, I just want to say hello to a couple of my kids, like 3 that are not in this area, Mark and Tim and Lincoln. And Lincoln, Wade was on our show this week and said to send a high five to you. So high five to Lincoln. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Are you looking to create another revenue stream in 2012? Are you willing to put out the effort, generate some cash flow? Pat Sheranian is seeking 10 motivated individuals to join her Kyani team as independent distributors. Earn as much as you are willing to work for selling Kyani Sunrise, Sunset, Nitro FX, and Nitro Extreme. These great products are helping thousands of people enjoy better health and an improved financial situation. The most successful Kyani independent distributors started by trying the Kyani products, just as you can, virtually risk-free, as Kyani offers a 30-day money-back satisfaction guarantee. Try them and don't like them, and you'll get your money back, less the shipping costs. So many people today are challenged by obesity and diabetes, or don't have enough money for their needs, and they aren't doing anything about it. Don't be one of them. Call Pat Sheranian at 801-362-9552 to find out more about Kyani and what it can do for your health and for your wealth. That's 801-362-9552.
Hey, this is Jared Munn. Join me on my new show, Ground Rules, every Tuesday from 12 noon to 1, where we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the funny of relationships. Join us as we discuss the games of dating, marriage, and just trying to figure out the opposite sex. So whether you've just started dating, or you're newlywed, or nearly dead, you've got questions, so let's get some answers. On the radio at KHQN, 1480 AM, and streaming live at UtahValleyLive.com.
You're listening to and watching the Pat Sheranian Show. My guest today is really my co-host, Kent Forkink. We wanted to take this hour to kind of catch you up on what we're all about as far as UtahValleyLive.com and the Pat Sheranian Show, also 1480, just kind of get everybody involved. Mark, I have a high five from you. I went to a meeting here locally down at Novell and recognized a face there. We had a nice chat, and Larry Fry says to say hello. So high five to Mark and Southern California from Larry Fry. And from your mom. Okay, did we finish with Utah Valley Live? Let's talk some more about Utah Valley Live, and then some things that are coming up that I think are pertinent, and then if you want to, we'll talk about MIT.
I don't want to talk about Mitt.
Okay.
But that's okay. We've got enough to cover.
But either one of us could do a show by ourselves with endless hours.
We're planning on it. I'm planning on it. All right. Back to Utah Valley Live. We were talking about going out to We Go Here and We Go There last summer.
Okay.
And that was our proof of concept. That's where we learned that we actually have something that works. We had quite a few people watching the Downtown Provo concert, rooftop concert series on UtahValleyLive.com.
You did.
We had people down at Seven Peaks. We did a lot of things, a lot of fun.
You also had a band on called...
yeah, we broadcast a number of bands, but if you're talking about Side Dish, then we broadcast their shows too. That's
Side Dish, because my grandchildren own that.
That's correct. They are the performers in that. And so what we learned was that there, in fact, is a potential audience. Now, since that time, we've seen the Deseret News go ahead and add quite a bit of high school sports streaming to what they offer online. And so we know that streaming content is a wave of the future. And as more and more people produce streaming content, then the audience just needs to find it. And there's a number of reasons why live streaming content, video streaming content, is superior to just about any other broadcast form. The number one reason being, I was waiting for your answer, I actually breathed there so you could jump in the middle.
I was writing. I'm making notes. I'm taking
you're
notes.
Doodling. You've got a Superman doodle there.
Actually, it's Superwoman.
Oh, and so
those are my personal private notes.
I can't read them. I can't read them.
I can read them.
All right, and so the basic idea is.
Can we split the screen?
Split screen. 2 cameras, both on you. And,
oh, you're heartless.
Yeah, well, But the main reason that live video streaming has an advantage over television and over radio is audience participation.
Okay.
Because normally you can have a call-in, and we will have call-ins on some of these shows here, but
They're starting about another week. We're going to be able to take call-ins.
right, we're going to put Foster out in the other room so he can answer the phone
We'll put
and
Foster
make
in the other
sure
room
that
and
you're
shut the
not
door.
going to curse at us or do something.
Right, they have to be screened.
They have to
That's
be
the problem.
screened because we are live. So if I say something like, "Oh, he bleeped it," I couldn't get it through. No, we have no bleeper. There is
There's
no
no
bleeper.
bleeper.
So if we goof up or somebody says something they shouldn't,
So
then
we
it
have
goes
to
out
screen
over the
you.
air and the police come and get us.
You have to prove you're worthy, chaste, benevolent.
Right. All right. And so because of that, we actually could have an audience member talk to us through the chat room. Or, depending on the show that we're broadcasting, we can have a different platform. If we don't use the Ustream platform, we can bring in a co-host feed, a video feed, just like they do, like a picture-in-picture on.
Wait, what did you just say?
Why did I lost my power. My laptop's going to sleep. What I said is that we can do picture-in-picture, like on a co-host feed. We haven't done it yet because Ustream's not good at it. But we're moving to a point where,
Okay.
so let's say like Diana's going to have a caller tomorrow
Right.
on her show. She's got the husband coming in, and she's going to bring a caller in from Arizona, the wife of these 17 adopted children, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, if they had a webcam down there, a camera set up, we could actually bring her video feed in right into,
right. Okay.
and then the audio would go out over the radio like we're doing now. Say we haven't done that yet because of the fact that Ustream isn't great with their co-host feeds. They used to be, but then they got lousy. Sorry, Ustream, but it's the truth. And so as we progress through, we're adding an into studio here. We're going to have when Diana and BJ.
Yes, we'll have
and
3
Kim,
studios, ability to have 3 programs going on at the
That's
same time.
correct. Just one that's simulcast on KHQN 1480, but the other 2 could be running live on Utah Valley Live. And that's the whole point when somebody asks me about Utah Valley Live. I don't refer to it as just a website or a channel. It's actually a network. Potentially, we could have 10 different shows running at any given time on Utah Valley Live. Now, we wouldn't be producing all of them. So, for example, Sheranian Communications is a content producer. All of these talk shows.
I knew that.
Did you? Good. all of these talk shows are being produced by Sheranian Communications, and then Proba Creative is a content producer. I have my own production company. Did you know that?
No.
It's called It's Vorkink Production.
Well,
It's Vorkink.
That's new. Is that today? Did
No,
you just
I've
do
had
that
that
today?
for a while.
It's Vorkink.
It's
What?
Vorkink. It's Vorkink.
Just It's
Productions.
Vorkink.
It's Vorkink.
Okay.
See, it's Vorkink.
You made an adjective out of this, did you?
Instead of it not Vorkink.
Okay.
Okay.
New show.
Okay. Well, actually, I do have a new show that we're going to be starting. Whether or not I host it's still been determined, and I suppose my wife probably has the final say on it because it's called Let's Get a Divorce.
That is really bad. That is really bad.
No, seriously. That's the name of the show.
Is that the one you're talking about doing in the mornings?
Yeah, at 10 in the morning. And whether or not we actually run it on a daily show, that would be web only. So we wouldn't put that over the radio because we might actually talk about more adult type things, and so we can control the audience a little bit better.
I'm hiring an attorney.
Over the.
I'm going to get an attorney in here. Is this legal?
It is legal. It's legal. It's moral. It's ethical.
You see this box?
And it's funny. I'm outside that box.
You were raised to be in that box.
I'm not in a box. I'm
what is
outside
the matter with
box.
you?
All right. So the idea but that's an example of a show that It's Vorkink Productions would go. So what we're looking for Utah Valley Live is bunches of content producers.
Forrest is holding his head like it fostered, like maybe we gave him a headache.
He had a headache when he came in, and it's not getting any better because of us. And so, but
if I walked out, would you miss me?
Probably after about 5 minutes. I might notice that you're gone.
That was kind.
Okay. And so the idea with content producers, there could be somebody. In fact, my larger vision for the
so let's get
Utah
a divorce
Valley
as
Live.
you're outside of the box.
Okay, we're coming back to Let's Get a Divorce.
Okay.
But the larger vision is to
Well, that could apply to a lot of things. I mean, it could be business relationships. It could be personal relationships.
No, this is marriage relationships. Let's get a divorce. Let's go file.
That's really rude.
Well, that's not the entire show. I'm going to get back to that, though. Okay, the deal is...
I'm not sure I want you to.
Yeah, I'll explain what it is. It'll soften it for you. I'll put
Can you do this in another studio?
brown tones on
Would you
it
please?
for you.
All right,
Okay,
thank
that's
you
what
very
she
much.
likes. And
Okay.
painted white. It'll be pretty.
Paint it white.
Sorry, those are inside jokes from our family. All right. So
I don't know what family he's talking about.
yeah, exactly. So the idea with Utah Valley Live is we have all these content producers out there, of which Sheranian Communications is one, Provo Creative is one, It's Working Productions is one. And then they would go to the UtahValleyLive.com to see what's
Provo Creative. It sounded
Provo
like
Creative.
Provo Creative.
Creative.
Okay,
You
all
like it
right.
better?
I'm sorry I asked.
I don't think Pete's listening at the moment, or else he probably would have chimed in. He may be teaching right now.
Okay.
So we have these, eventually Utah Valley Live, these Sheranian Communications talk shows will only be like 3 or 5% of what's on.
Okay.
Because Foster's
But
going to
again,
broadcast
they're on the
something,
radio.
and
We're on the
yeah,
radio.
the
My
Sheranian
production
Communications,
company,
Yeah,
right.
they're your niche and your bonuses. You've got locked up this AM 1480 KHQN deal. And so you're broadcasting to a broader audience than we currently have on Utah Valley Live.
Okay.
There may come a time when everybody from around the world decides they want to watch
I have to keep reminding him who's in charge here.
That yeah, that's right.
Oh, sure.
That we may have more people watching online than are listening in the local radio audience. And of course, you can also listen online at khqnradio.com. So if you really don't want to look at us, you can listen to the radio feed, because the radio feed can be heard online also.
Okay, so it's
So-
khqn.radio?
No, khqnradio.com.
Okay.
And so
radio.com.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's the radio station.
And actually, you can hear better on that sometimes than you can
Well,
on your car radio.
Right, and yet you can't get it on your car radio if you're in the car. You can only get your car radio
That's
in the
right.
car.
But I mean, it
Yes,
comes
but
down
then
to
watch us instead of going there.
Okay.
Anyway, so Utah Valley Live's mission eventually, I have this,
I
I
think
have
this would
the
be more
dream.
fun if it was tennis.
Yeah, I'll throw you a few more lobs. The dream was that eventually I could see, in this community specifically, I could see a 24-hour day Book of Mormon channel.
And we still work towards that.
That
We're
wouldn't
still
be
working.
broadcast on the radio. That would be
No.
that would be just on Utah
Streaming.
Valley Live. Somebody, and it could be a series. That could be returned mission presidents. They could be retired BYU professors. They could just be your average LDS person saying, you know what? If I had an audience, I would get up and I would read the Book of Mormon for a half an hour a day. If I can sit there and broadcast it at home with my slippers on and I don't have to go someplace, then that would be part of a missionary effort. I can see eventually this community saying, that's a good thing. And
Okay.
that would allow people then, instead of just hearing the Book of Mormon, you might, especially if it's like a retired BYU professor or your friend Susan Easton Black or
Susan
somebody,
Easton Black, Ann Madsen. yeah.
and Madsen, they could be talking about Isaiah, be talking about
Get George
Nauvoo,
Durant on.
again,
Yeah,
right,
a lot of different people.
Lots of people who would be
My
able to
neighbor, Gary Browning.
Sure.
Would be
Broadcast
wonderful.
from home, put it up on UtahValleyLive.com, and then people from the local community, but also from LDS people from around the world would have access not only to listen, but in fact, this
To
is
chat
why
in the chat room.
That's why Julia had on Daniel Peterson the other day from BYU, and they had a tremendous number of people watching the show, and it's because they were able to ask questions. They were able to ask questions that were, and he could respond to them. And that's where you have this, it wouldn't be obviously official LDS Church, pronouncements.
Sponsored.
It would have to be
Yeah.
individuals' opinions, but you would have access to these people with this tremendous,
How many could we get on at one time?
well, you can go as wide as you want. See, the thing is, you would, and you can do the same thing with politics. You want to talk about MIT? You
Yeah,
can
I
have
do.
You can have your own MIT channel. You could have your own politics channel, and that's
All under Utah Valley Live?
well, you broadcast wherever you want. We would just take your embed code, dump it onto a page, be able to, somebody would come to Utah Valley Live and they'd say, oh, right now I can choose from these 7 programs to watch. They're all originating from Utah Valley.
Okay, if you love politics and like talking about it, if you love sports, if you are into religion, we would like to talk to you. So by all means, call us, 801-362-9552, 801-362-9552. My guest host, takeover person, is Kent Vorkink with me today. We need to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
New Beauty Code Science reveals what creates your most beautiful appearance and what destroys it. 7 simple steps will make you more beautiful than you ever thought possible, guaranteed. New Beauty Code Science-based system helps you create your absolute best look every day. New Beauty Codes are scientifically proven to bring out your most natural, radiant beauty. Don't envy beautiful women. Be one. Order your copy of Unlocking Your Beauty Code today at mybeautycode.com.
Hi, I'm Roger Strong. I'm here to tell you about Tidbits of Utah County. No death, divorce, devastation, or destruction, just good news for good people. You'll find us everywhere in Utah Valley, in doctors' offices, restaurants, mechanic shops, anywhere that people wait. We have over 35 features of fun, family-friendly entertainment. To find a paper or to advertise, call Roger at 801-616-6288. Again, that's Roger at 801-616-6288. We're Tidbits of Utah County, the happy paper for Happy Valley.
A new radio show is opening up each Wednesday at 12 noon on KHQN 1480 AM. It's called the Home Business Finance Show with me, Lawrence Law. We will discuss home and business strategies to increase credit scores, get out of debt, make more money, and save more for your future. When it comes to money, knowledge is power. And we are going to share some very powerful secrets with you. Join us each Wednesday at 12 noon on KHQN 1480. Also check us out at lawrence.utahvalleylive.com. See you there.
As we'll ever be. Hi, you're listening to and watching the Pat Sheranian Show, pat.Utah Valley Live, and of course we're on KHQN 1480 AM. We appreciate your time. We really do. We're glad that you've joined us, and we're having some fun together. We appreciate the fact that you've hung in with us. We want to also continue mentioning some of our hosts that are on the air and what's coming up. We've got a few minutes to do that. We do have a chat room. If you have a question or you want to send a high five to us, a hello, please do so. pat.utahvalleylive.com should come right up on your computer. Our radio audience, I know some of you have requested the ability to call in, and we're fixing that. Should be within a week or so able to take public calls as soon as we get someone that can screen it. Kent just explained why that is a necessity in this day and age. People can call from around the world, and so we do have to have our calls screened. I was on another radio station, and it's serious enough that the girls at night, the ladies that were engineering at night and taking calls from all over the Salt Lake area, they had guns. They brought guns with them. They were all able to bring guns and packing their own guns. Salt Lake can be dangerous at night. I didn't know that until one of them turned around one day in the control room and she had a gun sticking in the back of her Levi's, and I thought, oops, where am I? So I'm back in Happy Valley. It feels safer down here. But we are going to go ahead and talk a little bit. Again, we want to mention Kyani, who's our main sponsor. I truly would be home knitting. No, I wouldn't be, but I'd be home. Probably aggravating grandchildren. These products have given me so much energy. Oh, my goodness sakes. We're only going to do this show, we decided, once a week because it would be impossible to do more. Also, I want to thank the Daily Herald. Really, they have been marvelous to us. It's a local newspaper here in Utah Valley and slightly beyond. They carry a lot of local news.
We're going to hear their news.
And yes, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have 5 minutes of news.
Utah Valley News is brought to you from the pages of the Daily Herald.
That's right. It's Kent's voice giving the news for the Daily Herald. And we have a wonderful ad running with everybody's name in it and their programming and their program and what time they come on in the Daily Herald. It's a quarter-page ad. Go by the Daily Herald and
subscribe.
Subscribe. That's really what we want you to do, is to subscribe to the Daily Herald.
Subscribe online.
I didn't know that.
You can subscribe online and read the full print edition, not the online edition.
The whole print edition.
Yeah,
because you just get little bits of it.
Yeah, the entire paper.
Online, if you subscribe.
You save a tree.
So you don't have to go out You save a tree.
Yeah, they don't print it on paper.
Oh,
you actually
my
get the subscription that has the
I'm
ads. Has
so
the
glad
entire
to
paper
know that
layout.
you are
Now
green.
you know.
You are colorblind. You wouldn't know from green.
That's correct.
Okay, so, okay, we were talking about some of the shows that are coming up, some of the things we're going to do, and I can't remember where we were.
Well, we're going to talk about some of the other shows during the week. We kind of brushed over Jared Munn a little bit, but you heard his promo for his show Ground Rules. He comes on noons on Tuesday, and it's a dating show. And it's kind of cute because teenage girls call or text
College students.
Well, a lot of teenage kids too.
And college
and they'll
students.
sit there and go, "Is it okay if I kiss on the first date?" And it's like, and
no, because your mother would say no.
Yeah, and Marilyn Harris was his guest one day, and it was great because it's like they're asking Marilyn. She's like, I'm not sure she could remember her first kiss, but
yes, she can.
I know because she's got a tremendous marriage with her husband Robert, but at the same time, they won't be on the Let's Get a Divorce show. And but Jared,
I'm not sure about that title.
That's a great title. It may not be a great show, but it's a great title.
Somebody ought to put your mother on the carpet for that.
Yeah, and so what happens is that Jared he brings on a guest almost every week that's with a different viewpoint on dating. And so that's a great show for people to interact with. And then of course, Maryland's show, Unlocking Your Beauty Code, follows his show on Tuesdays at 1. Lawrence is on Wednesdays at noon. Following Lawrence is Carol Stevens.
And Carol she is the general manager of a store called Causeway, located in University Mall in Orem, Utah, right up the street from us. And she brings various products on with her, with guests, and talk about this wonderful store. The prices are phenomenal. They cover everything from a health bar to water machines, all kinds of pots, pans, and wonderful prices. It also is a membership, so you can join and get even deeper, bigger, better discounts by getting involved as a member of that organization. Causeway, she's on Wednesdays at 1. And so please catch her every week. She has wonderful, wonderful products. So they have a huge catalog. They're online. You can order online.
And, she started her show initially featuring products, but she's morphed her show a little bit to make it, to bring on guests and talk a little bit about issues.
Good.
And so the products are still important, and yet she's expanded the scope of her show. So she covers had some really good guests in recent weeks.
And then I want to mention Lloyd also.
Oh, you did?
Lloyd Dyson.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't mention Lloyd. I want to talk about Lloyd.
I was funning you.
Oh, I did?
You just said, I want to mention Lloyd. You did.
And
so
I just
said
did.
You did.
Oh. All righty then. This is why I don't... Okay.
We don't do this very often.
We don't do this very often. I've been corrected 14 times now.
No, 15.
No, the really bad time was... I lost my daughter about 14 years ago, and she was such a dear. She was very bright, very smart in everything that she did. And she got a Christmas letter one year from me years ago, and she said, "Mother, did you send out many of these Christmas letters?" This is before computers. Now, honey, if y'all are raised in the South, y'all can't spell because y'all can't talk. And potato will always have an A on it. Potato, tomato, you hear that? Well, so how are you going to spell that? Anyway, I sent out what I thought was a really nice Christmas letter. And I said, well, yes, I sent this out to about 200 people. She said, I counted 18 errors in spelling on the first page. So now I have other people that correct me constantly. I miss her, and I miss her getting me corrected occasionally. And but okay, I'll allow it once.
So Lloyd's show is really interesting because Lloyd Dyson is a dynamic, antique bike riding, motivational hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, great guy.
He is, and he brings his bike every time because he has a huge wheel on the front, little tiny one on the back, and I thought surely he can't ride this. And we went down the stairs with him the other day, and I said something about him riding it. He hopped on it and drove all over the rode all over the parking lot in it. But the program is really good. It's down to earth. It's gentle. He really focuses on women. He thinks they're wonderful and talks to men about their wives, about how to treat them, and some of the things that he has learned over the years. He's very good. And he comes on Monday at 1 o'clock. So make note of that, and please tune into his show or watch it. He's lives up in the American Fork area, has an office up there, and works a lot with people who've, in fact, all of our therapists work with people with trauma. some types of trauma. And really, the programs have just gotten better and better. And this one coming up at 4 to 5 in the afternoon with BJ, Diana, and Kim Stilson, and another guest. And I'm sorry, I don't remember his name and don't have those notes in front of me. But that's coming up starting March 5th. You'll want to be tuned into that drive time and wherever you are at that time. So who have we gotten through everybody?
Well, we actually have this time slot available.
Oh, we do.
Really.
On Thursday mornings.
Can we try that one more time?
I keep doing that. I'm sorry. For 20 years, I was on at 9 in the morning. So I still think morning.
Pat Sheranian with Talk of the Town.
Yes, a long time ago. 12 o'clock on Thursdays. If you have a compelling, interesting topic that you would like to cover or things that you would like to talk about, we certainly want to talk to you. Come on as a guest or come on and let's train you as a host and get you in front of the camera and the microphones. It really turns out to be a lot of fun. And it's a good thing to archive all of these. Grandchildren, children, whatever years from now can go back and look at these and laugh their heads off, hopefully, and find out a little bit. It's like a living journal, and I'm thoroughly having just a really good time with this. You mentioned that you can get together if everybody has a computer with a camera in it and a webcam at home or whatever.
Topic for another show, but yes,
I'm going to create that within my family.
For video chatting, Google Plus has it, and then of course Skype has it, and there's other ways to do it. But that's a topic for another show. I know we've got Dr. Pam Blackwell.
Once again, he took the program away from me. I was going to tell you all about what I was going to do for my family.
Right. Now I'm looking at the clock and trying to get it all in, making sure. I think I heard Pam come in. Pam, are you out there?
Oh, good.
Yeah, Pam
she's here.
Out
so
there.
she's coming up.
She's in the green room.
Right. She's in our green room, and which is blue. But
is
it? You wouldn't know.
I know, exactly.
Oh, we have enjoyed so much being with you today.
We're not done. I still have to talk about Let's Get a Divorce.
I was trying to get off the air
not
before we
a
go
chance.
there. Yeah, here's where I need your opinion. Radio audience, please call me on 362.
Clap right now if you like that name.
No, listen. Call me on my cell phone 801-362-9552 552
I heard him.
What did I say?
Or 801-871-5476. 801-871-5476.
Can't
which is the same as 871 KHQN.
Right. Okay, where was I? Oh, I want to know what you think of this title. Let's Get a Divorce. I'm going to divorce this kid
real quick.
next to me.
I got about
here.
a minute to explain this.
Okay.
And
I'll try not to interrupt but twice.
Here's the thing on the name of that show. In 1880, French?
That was before my time.
Yeah, barely. A French playwright wrote a play, a 3-act farce. Hi, Stephen.
Okay, we're getting feedback from the other room.
Yes, we are. It wrote a play called...
In
1880, called, I can't remember it in French, but translated roughly into English, it's called Let's Get a Divorce. It's a play. It's a farce. It's a comedy.
Getting divorced is all of those things
it was
with
the play.
pain.
And and yet the show is, if I just titled the show, hey, another talk show about marriage, then okay, that's great. But it's called marketing. And so to get people's attention...
Okay, I want to know if you agree.
I didn't hear anybody agree. So...
362-9552 or in our chat room.
All right.
Pat.utahvalleylive.com.
We have like 20 seconds before Forrest is going to start playing music.
Okay.
15 seconds before he's going to play music. 10 seconds before. I'm just watching his hands over there. That's all I'm doing. Finish your show. You got about 2 seconds.
All right. We appreciate your being with us, and it's up in the air if Kent's going to do it. Let's make a deal. No, it's called
Nice try.
Let's Get a Divorce.
Roll the music.
Let's make a deal and let's get a divorce. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Stevens, host of Being with Carol. Every Wednesday from 1 to 2, please join me. I will be sharing information about a new store in the University Mall next to the food court, E-Causeway. We have hundreds of items from health food bars to water filtration systems, all high-quality items at huge discounted prices. E-Causeway. I'm Carol Stevens, looking forward to being with you every Wednesday from 1 to 2.
Moving? LDSagents.com is a free nationwide service connecting you with over 3,000 real estate agents who understand questions about meeting house locations, ward boundaries, early morning seminary, and family neighborhoods. Buy, sell, or finance with an agent who understands you. LDSagents.com.